All right. Welcome back, my friends, to the podcast that never ends. It may seem that way, and it may be a falling off grace period in which I don't have a podcast episode. It's been a minute. The whole deal is that I do this whenever I can. I love everybody out there. If you're listening, keep listening. If you're just coming to this for the first time, I want to welcome you to the Arena of Ideas, or AOI podcast. It's an opportunity where I get a chance and other people get a chance to be a part of the experience known as the AOI podcast. Welcome. So welcome back, my friends, to the podcast that never ends. It's your podcast. I'm the host. The platforms you can find this on, there's about 12 different places. There's Google, iHeart, Spotify, Spreaker, Apple, and there's a YouTube. It's even on YouTube and everything. There's a laundry list of places I can do this, or we can sit there and discuss this from. And again, I've downloaded all the different places I can listen to, and you can listen to this podcast on. You know, it's just a matter of getting an opportunity, and I try to make it once a week. Well, sometimes life doesn't work out that way. Sometimes life works out the way life's going to work out, right? And we're just going to do the best we can do. So anyway, not to weigh everybody down with that. The whole bottom line is that you're listening, you're here, and I want everybody to be here. New update before I go into this whole open and everything is that I've got some business cards made up for the Arena of Ideas podcast. And I'm going to be handing those out whenever I see people and stuff. And so instead of me trying to explain everything, I can simply hand out a card that is a representation of this beautiful, wonderful, hopefully exciting. Hopefully the host won't screw it up too badly, and he won't leave you guys wondering, guessing, or otherwise of what's going on. All right? Okay, so the places you can listen is iHeart, Google, Spotify, Spreaker, Castbox, Deezer, Podcast Addict, Podchaser, GeoSavin, Podvine. Again, YouTube has picked this up. So again, Apple and Google and all those places, YouTube has picked it up too. They've got it on Spreaker. Big shout out and big props to those guys. If I don't have them, we don't have the AOI podcast, and this isn't happening right now. And I'm not speaking into this microphone with a message for all of you, being the voice of the people, for the people, and by the people. I'm not that at all. There's nothing. There's absolutely nothing. Hard to believe that, hard to fathom it. But you know what? Thanks to Spreaker. Spreaker, of course, speaker with an R, is the podcast arm for iHeartRadio. They're so big. They need what? They need a podcast platform. All right, so I've gone into that. Let's get into the open. You know, if I can get into the open, then I can get into the rest of this stuff, right? So, anyway, this is the experiment at the crossroads between content and conversation reinvented. It's a podcast for anything, everything, all things for everyone. This is your place to be. It's the Triad of Talk, right? The Coliseum, the Round Table, Town Hall, the Forum of Focus. Forum tying in with, of course, the fact that the Roman Coliseum's the wonderful visual representation or picture of the podcast, right? So, and that's considered a forum. So that's why it's the Forum of Focus. We deal with straight fire, no holds barred, off the cuff, straight from the hip. It's a wake-up call, right? We want it to be a wake-up call. We don't want people to be comfortable in the situation that they can, not want to talk about things. But you know what? Here, my whole goal is to what? Is to talk about everything, put everything out there for everyone that everybody wants out there. And that's the whole process of this podcast. Most talk shows and everything else, what do? They go into... It's just easy softball stuff. They talk about things that they're easy to convey and stuff. And mine is getting the word out there, what everybody else wants to talk about and everybody else wants to put out there as information, things that's pissing them off and doing those things. That's what we do here at the Arena of Ideas podcast. All right. Anyway, so I am the conduit of content, voice of the people, for the people, by the people. This is an all-information podcast wielding truth, humor, wit, sarcasm, freedom like a verbal weapon. A man, a message, and a microphone, as I like to put it, or have put it. And again, this is me verbally talking to people. If you're screaming at the TV, the radio, or the sky, or in your head over the BS that's out there, this is your place to be. I'm just trying to live my best life here. Let's light this candle. And how do we light the candle, guys? Dramatic pause. Oh, that's right. Well, first of all, you have to qualify yourself in a couple things before we can even go into the process of usually how the, America and how the world is that if you've got rants, raves, beefs, issues, pet peeves, your OCD, etc., they're all accepted here. The hows, the whys, LOL, ROFL, WTF. Are you kidding? Are you kidding me? Are you killing me? You're killing me. If it keeps you up late at night or wakes you up in the morning way too early, kind of like doing this podcast, LOL. The Arena of Ideas podcast is here. What happens is that talking heads and personalities on TV and radio, they give you lip service, right? About what they want, what they think that you should hear, or what they should say. The AOI podcast is real service in real time for you, right? That's what it's all about, man. That's why I'm doing this whole thing. Look, I have the microphone. I have this opportunity. I have Sprecher, Speaker with an R, giving me this opportunity, but it's you out there, everybody listening, everybody a part of this process that I'm working on. I'm arduously working so hard to keep going and to keep in a process, right? Well, to give credence and to give props and plugs to and props and shout outs to all those people that are out there, the ones that are listening. I have the Listener Contributor Club, and right now I'm going to get into that, where we're going to list off people in the places and wherever they are, and I hope they're out there listening. They're going to hear their name called. If you hear your name called, you're part of the process. You're part of being here, and you're what matters to me and matters to all of us out there. Right? Right. Okay, actually, what I'm going to do first is I have a disclaimer. This disclaimer is to let you know and let the listening ears know that might be out there that decide that they always want to question everything, and they always want to, the Main Street media and stuff like that, and people like that, they want to silence, squelch you and treat you like a doormat and things like that. Well, this disclaimer is to CYA, cover your backside, right? So anyway, the views and opinions expressed in this and all Arena of Ideas podcast episodes are that of the host and guests, not to be taken out of context, misrepresented by any means possible. Okay? I have to get that one out there. Also listening here, before I list off the people in the Listener Contributor Club, I've got Ireland, England, Australia. There is probably more places than that. This gets out everywhere, especially on Apple. The Apple podcast, it gets out there. All right. Actually, Australia, England, Ireland, India. Again, those are a lot of them are on Apple. The impressions, I believe, is somewhere near 4,000 impressions now. What's an impression? This is the way in which they gather the information and make a determination as to what's going on. So if you're listening, if you listen, if you download, if you follow me, if you hit the plus sign, whatever you can do in any way you can do it to back this podcast and to help me and back me is to what? Simply download, follow, subscribe, like in YouTube, whatever you can do from your end to listen, download, and then also word of mouth, please, by all means, tell other people about the podcast. Again, I don't have $1 million budgets where I have, sponsors and people financing, my everything from my equipment to everything else I do. I simply am out there and people don't know about what's going on. They don't know about this experience. And what I'm truly trying to revolutionize and change is the fact that you matter. What you have to say matters. What you want out there and you want to have conveyed. You have these ideas and thoughts and everything. And I have this opportunity to take things that do all we explain in the open and get them out to you, right? Completely. That's the whole process here. The concern is you have these ideas and things you want done and no one talks anymore. People go to work on Friday. Over the weekend, they say something wrong on social mania, social media. Next thing you know, what happens is that it sits there, you sit there and you say something wrong. Come Monday, you're now fired from that job. Oh, and I didn't mention this, but the ways in which to get a hold of me before I go into this. Sorry, guys. Before I go into this, it's Michael Kingston 723 at Yahoo. That's my email, right? Phone number is published in there. If you look into the bio notes of me, my phone number is in there. If you want to use my phone number to communicate with me, fine. You can do that. We've also got FIST, like raise your fist, like for what you believe in, kind of like being here, right? So it's Facebook, Instagram, Snapchat, and Twitter. Those are 4 ways that the Arena of Ideas itself is on and the way in which you can communicate. On iHeart, I believe there's a talkback button, but I'm not a radio station or anything, and I don't know how that all works, but allegedly you can also communicate back that way too. So there's your ways to get all that out there. All right, let's get on to the Listener Contributor Club. All right, this is going to take some wind here, but basically, are we ready for this? All right, and Listener Contributor Club, her name's Savannah. She's plays a major part in the process of behind the scenes. Again, you have to be your own creator of content. You have to be the person that, comes up with all the ideas and everything else and the presentation. And you have to do the research and all these other things. But Savannah there's many people like Nick has helped me do the mic check. Savannah has helped me in many things here. And there's a few other people too that have really exemplified and done great things to help me in this whole process. So props to Savannah on the Listener Contributor Club. She helped me kind of wrangle in and organize this whole process because before that, I wasn't actually doing that. All right, without further ado, if I don't have the people on this list, and if you're also on this list and you haven't communicated it to me so I can put you on here, please do. I can put you on here just like everyone else can. I can put everyone else on here. These are the ones I've jotted down and I've told these people, you're going to be in my Listener Contributor Club. You're a part of this process. Okay. So anyway, if you need to be on this list, if you want to be on this list, if you want to be on this wall with me, if you will, so to speak, in quotes, please do. Tell me, send me all the different ways. My email, I've got the social media, 4 places you can do that there. You can tell me word of mouth. You can text me, whatever way you think is important for you to make sure that I get this information. Please do. All right. So here we go. Here we go. You don't normally breathe on the radio like that, but that's okay because this is a challenge. All right. So here we go. Detonia, Jen, Nick, Adriana. Adriana's huge. She's also helped me a bunch in the process of this whole podcast. She's helped me with a bunch of different ideas and different things. Chris, Chantel, Antonio. You know who you are, Antonio. Jackie and Jared. Art. There's 2 arts, art and art. Art with an art, right? Luke, Walt and his wife. Mike, Lori, Lonnie, Mark, Lexus, Eddie, Felicia, Emilio, Craig, John, Orlando, Caesar, E-Twist the rapper. Of course, he was on an episode. I'm not going to give you the number of that episode, but it's E-Twist Experience. I know he's out there listening. Brandon, Gabby, Melissa, Jim, Audrey, Devin, Linkisha, Aisha, Tammy, Christine, Eric, Rick, Kevin, James, Kayla, Aaron, Mario, Andrea, Michaela. Craig is in here somewhere too. Big props to that guy. That guy's a huge supporter of this show as well. He's also, ironically, an owner of the original shirts I came out with for the podcast. Again, I don't have those anymore, but you know what? I've got those out there as part of my, commercialization, me trying to push and get this information out for the podcast. Aaron, Mario, Andrea, Michaela, Caitlin, and Mandy. You know who you are. Jalen, Marsha, David, and Jessica, both presiding for Cinemark. Again, a prop and plug for Cinemark movie theaters everywhere, namely here in Pueblo. Again, I'm out of Pueblo, Colorado. Anyway, love those guys, David and Jessica. I know they're listening. Melanie, Danielle, Pablo, Zach, Davina, Megan. Sorry, guys, that was my alarm. My show. I want my show to be alarming, not the alarms to go off. Hello, those are the ones that are supposed to go off in my head to silence the voices. But anyway, LOL, laugh track. Okay, sorry about that. Where was I? Megan, there's two Megans there. Pat, Don, and Quan. You know who you are. You guys rock. There's Laura, John. Laura and John. You know who you are. Jojo, Melissa, Robert, Raymond, Kendra, Laura, Nim, Maddie, Darius, Joey, Charles, Briley, David, Santiago, Donovan, Chase, Ashton, Keith K, Keith and Sienna, you know who you are. JC, Mark, Santos, Ashley, David, Rocky, Julian, Desmond, Donovan, Charles, Darius, Joey. And by the way, this is all for Pueblo. I didn't mention that. Sorry. Charles, Ashton, Lexi, Nehemiah, Alexis, Ryan, Vince, Cindy, Mackenzie, you know who you are. Exclamation point. Let's see. Raphael, Zoe, Eddie, Chantel, Randy, Detonia. Got her in there again. Jen, Gabby, Jade, Selena, Melissa, Joe, Miguel. Let's see. Let's shout out to all the Griffields people. Zoe, Natalie, Michael, Vincent, Anthony, Brandon, Alessandria, Joel, Fabiola, TJ, Bobby, Jan, and Ashley, Michael. Still going, guys. All right, so Mickey and Yvette, Alyssa, Eva, Benny, CJ know who you are. Matt out there working the hard lines of security out there. Hunter, Damian, Avery, Eric, also AKA Zeke. Zeke, you know who you are. Wade, Zach, Aaliyah, Contessa, Dominic, Danica, Edward, Michelle, Carlos, and Quantili. Carlos and Chianti. Man, he's got a tough name. These two guys are awesome. They're also going to be featured in not only the props and plug, but also the mic check today because, see, Carlos, or Cochise, as his actual name is, he's a part of a band called The Dead End, right? I've mentioned it before. I know I've mentioned The Dead End before. I know I have. Anyway, so you've got him, and then you've got his brother. His brother's a part of a band called Discount Vodka. I'm going to be doing a commercial read, basically, and a wonderful Michael Buffer type open to that wonderful opportunity known as their two bands. It's bands of brothers, basically, right? Yvette, Richard, and Susan, Alessandria, Fabiola. See, I already did that. Okay, sorry. Jan and Ashley, Michael, Isaiah, Anthony, Donald, Anthony, let's see, Anthony there, Emily and Seth, you know who you are. Congratulations, they had a kid. Congratulations on them. Dave, Keone, Joey, Charlie, Bobby and Jacqueline, welcome. Cheryl, Shantae, Angel. Angel is originally from Oklahoma. It's Angel by way of Oklahoma via Pueblo now. Angel, there's another, let's see. Dean and Ember. D'Angelo, Juliana and Brianna. Shannon, Brandy, and Jarrett. Contessa, Jackie. Dominic, Edward, Danica, Adriana, Michelle, Sarah. Welcome all of you from Pueblo. Again, I probably duplicated some names. My main thing is what? I want to get people's name in there. Main thing is I get people read. You guys matter. Remember, this is your podcast. I'm simply the host. I've got from Colorado Springs, Tim. Tim, you know who you are. You listen all the time. That's a faithful listener right there. He's kicking ass and chewing bubble gum, and he's fresh out of bubble gum. He knows that. All right, Savannah, I already mentioned her, aforementioned her in the situation. Kenny, Trey, this is all Colorado Springs listeners, contributors. Kenny, Trey, Jacob, Brian, Lexus, Sharon, Don, Mark, and Joel, two brothers. They know who they are. Brian, hello out there. Congratulations, his wife had a kid. Congratulations to him too. Dave, John, Eric and Don. It's Eric, Don, excuse me, they're not together. Paul, Larry, the larger than life guy. Larry's the one I talked about for the superheroes and stuff. Larry, you're out there listening. We're going to be doing some big stuff with this guy. We're going to be doing a conversation and many other things with him. He's promoting himself, and he's done boxing. He's now doing wrestling. Big props and shout outs to that guy. Love that guy. They talk about larger than life. They say that in quotes. There is no quotes to this guy. He is larger than life. Caden and Luna, Mike, Johnny, Keyshawn, Oddity is his actual person's name. Chris, Tony, Diana, Jackie, Lauren, and Lauren works at a restaurant out there in Colorado Springs. See, Lauren, I'm talking about you on the podcast. Told you, you matter. Your voice matters, and everything else too. And Doug, just added Doug on. Anyway, that's all Colorado Springs. This is by way of other locations and areas and people I know that are actually in other places. All right, so we got Carrie. She's out in Minnesota. I got Mark. He's from Fort Collins. In fact, we talked about him and his YouTube page and all that stuff. Josie. She's living in Santa Monica by way of Fort Collins. Winter, of course, Winter's Tale, one of the episodes. She's presiding in Washington State. Erica, again, Texas. She's from Texas. She's a nurse, first responder. She's also the reason why we're doing the 35th episode about the Yellow Rose of Texas. Erica, see, I told you I would put this episode out there. What an amazing, insightful person. She, just wonderful. Just many, many great things, working as a nurse and serving as a nurse and first responder. Also, we'll be mentioning her husband, TJ. I believe his name is TJ. I have it written down. Has a book called The Traveling Nurse. We'll be discussing that too in kind of the plugs and props. All right, we'll get into that later. Anyway, Kyle from Canyon City. You know who you are, Kyle. This is also the same Kyle Taylor that also does disc golf, and he's a top 10 or so ranked disc golfer, and we've already plugged him too. And then there's Ray. He's actually working here in Pueblo, but it's Ray from Chicago by way of Pueblo, Colorado. And he presides here now. All right, so that covers all that. Man, that list is getting long. And this is only the people that I know. And again, I've duplicated names. It's okay. The main focus and concern here is to get to the process of the 35th episode, right? Right. All right, enough of all that, getting all that out of the way. All right, you guys, I'm not getting you out of the way. I'm just trying to move on with the next part. Okay, so I'm going to break into some music, some bumper music. But anyway, it's Roses Are Yellow in Texas. It's the Yellow Rose of Texas, the 35th episode. 35 episodes, man. I'm trying to get to 50. I got to 25. Now I'm trying to get to 50. My ultimate goal really is it's going to be a benchmark when I get to 100 episodes. But anyway, I can only get there one step at a time, one episode at a time, right? So right now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to break into some music and we're going to take a break, right? And then get right back into this 35th episode of the Yellow Rose of Texas. Anyway, so here we go. This is the Arena of Ideas podcast. I am your host, Mike Kingston. Your podcast, I'm simply the host. 35th episode of the Yellow Rose of Texas. We'll be right back. All right. We're back. I thank everybody for listening. I'm still hanging on. Hey, if you're still here and you're still hearing this lovely hopefully velvety voice, I know it's a face made for an audio podcast. Right. Well, this is again, the Yellow Rose of Texas. I want to thank Erica. She's from Texas. She's actually working here as, a nurse here in Pueblo. But anyway, she's originally from Texas. She's the inspiration. She's the reason why we have this episode out there. I thought this was very intriguing, very, very interesting and very compelling situation when you're talking about, they've got lists of these spies and lists of people that are all these spies and everything. Like from Jason Bourne, you've got Jason Bourne, you have got, James Bond, you've got Mission Impossible and all this stuff, right? Those are all spies and everything else. Those are famous people that are ranked and stuff as spies. But this is an actual, spy, a person fighting many different stereotypes and many different things that's compelling because as you can see that, basically Emily Morgan is her name. What's happening is this is a colored lady back in the 1800s dealing with, fighting off oppression, fighting off stereotypes. The fact she's a woman and she's trying to go in and she's trying to help Texas, right? She's trying to help Texas remain a Republic of Texas in the process of trying to stand up for all that, going under the lines and trying to stave off Mexico. So we actually have Texas in the United States of America. It's the Republic of Texas, actually. And anyway, she fought off so many things and did so many things. It's incredible. You're going to hear about it. And, again, this is the 35th episode. The Yellow Rose of Texas is, the episode title. And without further ado, let me get into this. Let's see. All right. Roses are yellow in Texas. This is true. Every rose has its scorn. Is a great title right there. It's the Yellow Rose of Texas. I'm going to keep it short and sweet. is what you're going to see when you're looking for this episode. The Yellow Rose of Texas. But its roses are yellow in Texas. This is true. Every rose has its scorn. Yellow Roses of Texas. Historical, legend, lore, and more. So now I'm going to start with basically this song. There's a song titled The Yellow Rose of Texas. Okay. And again, the disclaimer, this is opinion and everything. Well, this song, I'm laying this out there. It's verbatim as to what I looked up for research and have on it. So, the song. There's a yellow rose in Texas I'm going to see. No other darky knows her, no darky, only me. She cried, so when I left her, it like to broke my heart. And I lift ever find, and if I ever find her, we'll never more will we part. Note, a darky is a offensive term for a black person, a derogatory and hateful way to take shots at others. Now, that's explaining what a darky is, okay? Now the chorus. She's the sweetest rose of color this darky ever known. Her eyes are bright as diamonds. They sparkle like the dew. You may talk about dearest May and sing of a rose, of Rosalie, the yellow rose of Texas, beats the bells of Tennessee. All right, there's a song. Again, this is the 1800s, so mind you, you got there's all racism out there. You have all the different things. I mean, no filter. Way back then, there was no filter about anything, right? Nothing. So that's the deal there. Again, no disrespect to anybody. That's just the way it goes. That's how that is written. That's why I gave that little cliff note or footnote to that song. All right. So anyway. All right. So again, this historical legend of lore and more, the spy of all spies, a person that broke many stereotypes and everything else. You're going to hear about her. The mystery, the legend, and the legacy of a woman before Liam Neeson having a certain set of skills of Taken fame was that of the simple name of Emily West, actually. Emily West / Emily Morgan, also known as Emily Morgan, a.k.a. Emily Morgan as well. With a very complicated and intriguing life beyond the imaginations of those who ponder her story. Her alias or pseudonym known as Emily Morgan, also named after a hotel. Wow, I've only just begun, and the blurred lines of reality have a twisted frame of which Emily West may have taken the name from her. She took the name of her former employer, James Morgan. Okay, because back then, a lot of people were taking names based upon trade and things like that. They went off and did something their family did. That would be their last name. She arrived in Texas in 1836, captured by the Mexican soldiers. Much of the land was owned by Mexico. If you look it up, soldiers were trying to get the president of the Republic of Texas, David Burnett. Those soldiers were up to no good. Emily was incarcerated by the Mexican army that was trying to find Sam Houston's army. Sam Houston's going to be the legend today, by the way, in this podcast episode. Well, finally went down on the San Jacinto battlefield on April 21st, 1836. The Texans surprised the Mexican army. Santa Anna's attention, leader of that army, got distracted by Emily, still locked up, insisted the meeting was called a dalliance. A dalliance is a sexual type relationship, right? She got in bed with the leader of the Mexican army. So this takes this sleeping with the enemy way serious, right? In quotes, of course, sleeping with the enemy. Trying to change the face of the battle any way possible. So the story goes, not state if they did not nor happen. Way back then, there was people with loose lips gossiping to whoever will listen. To anybody that would listen, if this were today, Emily's story would go big time and viral, right? It would be huge. Let's see. Paparazzis and the news cycle would surpass the Kardashians for the wow factor. Here's the plot twist and layers of this onion that reveals itself was in the hands of a traveling Englishman named William Bullard in 1842, a library in Chicago. The Battle of San Jacinto lost to that Mexican army until Emily, owned by Captain Morgan. Yes, Captain Morgan, not just an alcoholic beverage for those of you keeping score at home. Yes, Captain Morgan is not just an adult drink. She did what she had to do, giving up her body and mind for survival, making the ultimate sacrifice. Talk about a warrior in the trenches, someone doing dirty work and doing what they had to do in order to do what? Save an entire republic. Dude, she fought off probably 8 or so stereotypes and all these things. And it was always a man's world and all this other stuff. Well, not here. She frickin' gave up and sacrificed everything to make sure it happened. So in 1956, Bullard's Traveler Journal, giving the account of what happened, published, what are the odds? Almost like the secret of the mummies in Egypt, right? So a major item came out and cleared the air on a debate that raged ever since that war. Emily was known synonymously with this famous song, The Yellow Rose of Texas, right? It's a song I just listed to you. Not proven like a circle where you can start a conversation and the topic is lost, right? And what was last said is the answer. So now Emily has slept with the enemy for freedom, had a song named after her, the legend, right? It's like before Norma Jean was listed in the song Candle in the Wind by Elton John, you had the Yellow Rose of Texas, which really, man, this lady really did some amazing things. I mean, you talk about doing whatever it takes, going with your gut instincts and whatever you believe in your heart and making it happen. So now Emily has slept with the enemy for freedom, right? Had a song named after her and even became a rebel for the cause, right? Not the applause, the cause. To save the Battle of San Jacinto. It was the Battle of San Jacinto and also the Battle of Alamo, also involved here too. Dealing with the Yellow Rose of Texas, she dealt with both. And the Battle of the Alamo and everything else, and the two main battles versus New Mexico when they were trying to save the Republic and everything else. So many things to contemplate, and Emily is trying to forget the situation. Yet now this song, it is getting larger than life. It's building her, it's building her mantra. It's building, God, her brand. I mean, this is way before all the paparazzis and going viral and all these other things that people do out there now. I mean, she wasn't even trying. It was this legend that it was word of mouth. All they had was a newspaper. All you had was the town message and all these other things that went on, and from town to town, all of the legends would grow and it would build up, and it was probably a person that did something, but then by the time that they embellish everything and they look at things in a big manner, then what is it? It becomes this larger than life situation. It's kind of like a fire. You start a little fire and you have it in a trash can, and then the trash can then takes the trash can and then all of a sudden starts burning the room or something. It's like, this is kind of how her legend grew and everything else grew about the Yellow Rose of Texas. And again, props back to Erica for coming up with this idea. She wanted me to look up to the research and everything else. And Erica, again, thank you for this process, and the props to you. All right. So basically, and to add to what Emily is going through, trying to survive is what Emily West is, an African-American woman held captive and prisoner and sex slave, getting into the minds and ears to sway and change the course of the Texas War for independence from Mexico via Sam Houston, right? Again, he'll be the legend, if you will. Figurative stereotypes at women, race, freedom, and all of this to free a republic. All this, I mean, think about that. Let's just break this all down. This is in the 1800s, guys. This is not, 2018. This is the 1800s where we are trying to, all the United States, all the states are trying to become republics, part of the Republic of the United States of America and part of the Union, joining together to become the United States of America where we preside now. She's trying to fight off all these stereotypes, all the things that she was having to go through. Race, the stereotypes of women, women basically, it's not a woman's job. She's in the kitchen or something like that, quote unquote. It was mainly men and stuff that did all the fighting and everything else. And here she was on the main lines and the front lines of all this stuff, right? It's a lot to unpack. Seriously, it's a lot to unpack talking about trying to save everything else. And it's thinking of basically more than yourself when it comes to a situation, right? I mean, you're thinking about this whole Republic of Texas versus the actual process of going, oh my God, if she stood and stopped and thought what she was doing, she probably would have made it. She wouldn't have survived all this that she was going through. Right. So thanks again, Erica from Texas, wanting this very compelling story for the ages. It took all the way to 1989 and a biography titled Emily the Yellow Rose of Texas by Anita Richmond Bunkley, based on facts and folklore, legend, and witnesses in that day. So now Emily has a song named after her. She was the wife of Sam Houston and a spy and fought racism and freedom to win the war, and even had a hotel named after her, the Emily West / Morgan Hotel. Emily kept Santa Anna, Mexican general, busy to help win the war for territory and freedom. And don't forget the premise of the song dedicated to her as well. The hotel, Emily Morgan Hotel, did not become its title until 1984 originally. A medical arts building, then converted into a office complex. Considered a landmark in Texas, a historical place, part of the Alamo Plaza Historic District in 1977. The Haunting of Texas and the Emily Morgan Hotel, from its conception, was created to be unlucky and haunted, almost like Emily Morgan and the plight she had to fight against the grain. For everything, well, I myself was born in a hospital / sanatorium. I was born in a hospital / sanitarium. Maybe that explains part of the situations I'm dealing with and everything else, right? Right. So anyway, which last I checked, many may have had an effect on me, right? Twofold, because I am not normal by standards, I don't think. This is just me, which is okay by me and my motivation for the AOI podcast, right? Back to the hardworking spy who saved a republic, Emily Morgan Hotel. The building was once a state-of-the-art medical facility, housing a morgue, crematorium. Nothing creepy about that, right? Nothing creepy about that. A place that reads like a Stephen King story. Of course, I love Stephen King. I have all of his books and everything else, of course. Anyway, the architecture. It's got gargoyles carved on the exterior and peering down upon the prey, as known as the inhabitants or guests of the hotel. Called the Emily Morgan Hotel, named after Emily West, the famous spy aforementioned in this episode, right? The Yellow Rose of Texas. Of course, there were two main battle sites where Emily, the spy who saved the Republic, right? San Jacinto, and of course the Battle of the Alamo. And again, that's a huge battle, and it's famous, and they still have the structure standing that represents the Battle of the Alamo and everything else. Well, the hotel is just meters away from the Alamo battlefield, a virtual graveyard of bodies. Also, probably the reason why the hotel is probably haunted. I mean, let's take a look at that and keep that in perspective as well. All right. So the Emily Morgan Hotel is advertised as the official hotel of the Alamo. So like the Stanley Hotel, the haunted narrative is a bit of the core today. And Emily is a legendary force, and who if you listen quietly, can still be felt, the fight for freedom. And the bell of the Alamo ring true for all days. Spies like us. There's a who's who of silver screen spies and franchises that still play out. Stylish wardrobes and gadgets galore. Here are a few you might recall. North by Northwest, Alfred Hitchcock, James Bond series, multiple actors. There's a whole ton of actors, right? Sean Connery, Roger Moore. There's a whole bunch of them that have done that series, right? Let's see. Bourne Identity series, Matt Damon, Mission Impossible, the TV show and the movies, the Kingsman series. There are comedies about the subject, other films that depict espionage as cool and ultra sophisticated syndicates. Well, I'm here to tell you, Emily Morgan West was amazing in her devotion and patriotic duty to turn the tide, fight racism, sexism, hatred, and a her against the world mantra. Emily was revolutionary and was a major force behind the Republic of Texas. And why we have 50 states, not 49? Just know that she's gone. Okay, let's see. You know that she's gone. Yet, thanks to Erica from Texas, thanks for bringing alive a Texas legend today. And again, I could go on and on. There's way more information about her, the spy situation and everything else. There's a whole bunch there. There's way more there. You just think about all the things she had to fight and things she had to do. And she gave of herself for the betterment and better good of an entire nation, an entire republic, and entirely everything when it comes to Texas. That's why there's a Yellow Rose of Texas. I was joking about that one day. And again, Erica had mentioned that I should really put this together as an episode. So I did. And man, I'm so glad I did. It's amazing to learn all the stuff that I learned about Emily Morgan, Emily West, and her plight for what she tried to do and really tried to bring prominence. And that's why it's called the ultimate sacrifice, man. She gave up everything she had for the betterment of others and for the future and for all these other things when it comes to Texas. Texas is a great place. I've been there a couple times. And hey, what is a republic? A republic is its own place that stands on its own. If everything broke away and everything went to hell in a handbasket, if you will, in quotes, you know, the Republic of Texas can support itself and can fight for its own honor and its own lifestyle and its own freedom. That's what makes that amazing, dude. Freaking amazing. All right. So here's what we're going to do. I'm going to get into a few other things here. And again, you know, the AOI podcast is an awareness exercise, basically. A way in which to communicate and make awareness of different things in each episode. You know, I don't want to beat people over the head with everything. Yeah, I could sit there and, you know, we can go on for 3 hours, you know, groveling and rambling on about things and, you know, have these big shows and everything else, but you're going to lose attention. It's getting the attention, it's making the awareness, and it's bringing to the prominence and forefront of what's really going on based upon whatever the topic is. Today it happens to be the Yellow Rose of Texas. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to break this up with some more music. We'll get into the comedy corner. I'll go find me some jokes to talk about, dad jokes basically, till someone gives me more. And then we're going to go into the next part, which is it's a mic check / plug props for the two brothers, right? For Cochise and Catuli. that have the two bands. I think I may have said that right that time. For the Dead End and Discount Vodka, and then go into the legend Sam Houston, and then wrap this thing up. And the 35th episode will have a bow on it. So again, this is the Yellow Rose of Texas, the 35th episode of the Arena of Ideas podcast. I want to, again, let you all know that I love everybody out there. Again, you guys all know out there, you're all my family and my friends. And that's what we do here. This is family and friends, and that's how I think of all of you. But right about now, we're going to have some more bumper music. We're going to go into the other parts of this 35th episode. The Yellow Rose of Texas, Arena of Ideas podcast. We'll be right back. All right. We're back. All right, we're back. Okay, now we're going to break into I'm going to find the Comedy Corner jokes here, and then we'll go from there. All right? All right, guys. Yep, Comedy Corner. One of these days, the Comedy Corner, Keith K. and I are going to do like a funny segment of Comedy Corner where it's going to be kind of humorous kind of situation where we talk in the episodes and everything else too. Okay? All right. Back to it. What did you all, yeah, right. I'm not from there, but anyway, what did you guys think about the Emily West / Emily Morgan espionage, fighting behind the enemy lines story? What did you guys all think about that? Again, you have ways in which to communicate, right? Ways in which to comment about this in all episodes. Of course, FIST, F-I-S-T, Facebook, Instagram, Snapchat, and Twitter. My email, Michael Kingston, 723 at Yahoo. We've got, of course, email. You've got my phone number in there. You can tell me word of mouth. If you really like this episode, or if it spurns something else and you want to talk about another historical person, a person in history, and we want to make that an entire episode, we can do that. I mean, look, every episode I try to focus on something else different. I want all this different content to be something else different. It's for everyone. Some people might like history, so here you go. Like music, so I've done like Elvis Has Left the Podcast, or whatever else is going on, right? So let's do this. Get the dad jokes out of the way. Basically, dad jokes, or jokes that are, if you don't like these jokes and you have better ones for me, please, by all means, tell me, because I'm more than happy to go ahead and we can read them. And hopefully, I usually screw up these and I usually butcher them. So anyway, all right. So why did the half-blind man fall in the well? Because he couldn't see that well. Wow. W-O-W. Okay. It's hard to explain puns to kleptos because they take everything literally. Okay, it's difficult to say what my wife does. She sells seashells by the seashore. Oh, wait. Yeah, it took a moment, didn't it? What do you call a dog that can do magic tricks? A labracadabra. Good one. All right, that's enough. That's murdering enough people with comedy, right? I don't mean murder. I mean to kill it. No pun intended, right? Right. There's that. Okay, so let's see. Without further ado, I'm going to go into a plug and prop for a place called Balloons and More. There's a girl named Brandy Lee that actually she does that process. That's her company. It's called Balloons and More. All right, so I'm going to cover a couple things because I always forget. I always try to do streaming and other movies and things like that. I mean, yeah, if you guys want reviews on movies and stuff, I could do that. Anyway, so there's a company called Balloons Galore and More. Brandy Lee is the proprietor and owner of this company. Phone number is 719-289-6766. Owner, proprietor. Basically, she does party and gathering arrangements of balloons and things. Does party planning. Does kind of has her hat in a whole lot of things when it comes to this genre. This whole business type of model out there for parties and different gatherings and reunions and whatever else you want it to be, she does that. So again, Balloons Galore and More, Brandy Lee. Told her I'd get her name out there. All right, so there you go. Streaming, I've chosen to pick the series Clarice, which is Clarice Starling, of course, from my favorite movie of all time, which is Silence of the Lambs. It's my favorite. So they had a streaming series called Clarice. So that covers that right there. All right. I got that out of the way for her. I told her soon I would be putting out that wonderful situation right there, dealing with that. All right. So now, without further ado, this goes out to two bands, The Dead End and Discount Vodka. All right, so ding, ding, ding. I don't have a sound effect for Around the Ring. Let's see. Ding, ding, ding. This is basically the Dead End Discount Vodka. Plugs, props, and shout out for the mic check shout out. A brotherhood and music bands apart. In this corner, weighing in at a creative force of rockabilly and ska genres is the Dead End. A real monster of music mayhem and mischief, taking the stage and in the hearts of fans everywhere. In this corner is Rage Against and punk rock and sonic animosity known as Discount Vodka. Get ready to rumble. We've got amazing pageantry and anger and rage and all the things that makes music the greatness that it is in wielding amazing musicianship and everything else is the Dead End and Discount Vodka. Amazing, right? Both bands are a family affair. Both the pride of Pueblo, Colorado music scene, right here in Pueblo. Humble beginnings for co-chiefs, the Dead End, and Catuli Discount Vodka. Brothers and biggest fans and inspirations to each other. Both bands have their sights and aspirations set on touring and getting out the talents and message for all the world to hear. One song and tour date away from reaching this goal and every date on their respective tours. For further information about both bands, go to the usual social suspects. Facebook, The Dead End Dead End Punk is what you have to put down. Discount Vodka, YouTube, Instagram, at Discount Vodka, and then at the Dead End Punk. Well, they both have busy tour schedules for 2023. Look them up as listed. Hit them up on further information and when they're coming to a town near you. Music is an infinite universe and space that is also the universal language of mankind. The Dead End Discount Vodka bands are great ambassadors and caretakers to the mantle of music. So go out, support independent artists, the local music scene everywhere, and know the arts and music need to continue to educate future generations. Rock on. That goes out to my friend Cuchis, also known as Carlos, and to Catuli, his brother. The bands are the Dead End and Discount Vodka. I loved every minute of it. Look, I've loved music my entire life. Why do I have a mic check? I have it because I've loved music my entire life. I listen to all genres, everything when it comes to the entire process. I appreciate and love these guys. And look, give them a shout out. Yeah, I'm not Michael Buffer. I can't sit there and go, let's get ready to rumble and all this other stuff. I can't do all that, but I can do this. I have I'm a voice of the people, for the people, and by the people, a man, a microphone, and a message. I can also make that message a part of the independent music scene, the underground music scene. And these guys need to be seen on a stage performing live. You guys can buy their merch. You guys can buy their opportunity to watch these guys and help support, again, these independent artists that are out there struggling and trying to do the very best they can do to move up in the world and to do what their life passions and goals are, which is to what? Perform music. Hell yes. You know, I'm all about that, and I'm all about freedom of speech and everything else and getting the word out there for everyone. Well, again, Discount Vodka, the Dead End, you guys rock. You guys, in fact, I don't know if Discount Vodka is going to be on here, but little teaser, kind of like a teaser for Larry dealing with boxing and wrestling. He's going to come on here, and we're going to have him on here on an episode where he's going to be able to get out his, sport his wares dealing with boxing and with wrestling, all the things that Larry has done. And we're also going to get the Dead End at least on here as a conversation, and they're going to perform music and everything else on the episode too. Kind of a teaser. This is kind of a big build up for what's going to happen later and how they're going to get their names and everything else out there on these 12 platforms I'm on all over the world. And I want them, this is a way in which everyone, I can do props, plugs for your businesses. I can talk about your businesses. I can talk about people. We can talk about, your advertising for yourself. You're trying to promote yourself, doing the promotions and things. We can get all these things out there because this is a way, 180 minutes of an opportunity to say what you want to say and how you want to say it. It truly is. So that's amazing. And those two bands, you definitely got to check out the Dead End and Discount Vodka. Coming to a town near you, coming to a venue near you. And if not, that's okay. Get into the different social media places. And if you get a chance to get some merch from them, check it out, wear it, advertise for them, listen to their music, get into it, and really, really dive in and just have a good time. That's what this is all about. All right, so there we go for that part of this episode. I'm going to break this again up with some more music, and we'll get into the legend, and then we'll wrap a bow on this 35th episode of the Arena of Ideas podcast, the Yellow Rose of Texas. Right? We'll be doing that. So anyway, as you hear that this is the bumper music coming up. And anyway, so this again is the 35th episode of the Arena of Ideas podcast, the Yellow Rose of Texas. We'll be right back. All right, we're back. Thank you very much once again. All right. I'll get that down. I'm still working out the kinks. I don't edit anything. If I screw up, if I mess up, if something else happens, guess what? It happens. Boom. All right, so, I almost forgot. Okay, that sounder. All right, that's the telling you about the legends part of this episode. Well, I would be amiss if I didn't first of all actually do a plug again. Erica, her husband's name is TJ. TJ has got a novel or a book out there called The Traveling Nurse. And basically it's all about the inner workings and dealings with being a traveling nurse, what you have to do, the protocols, and all the other ways in which you have to manage yourself when it comes down to the process of this traveling nurses. They travel all over the country and they go to work where they need to be. They're needed, where they're needed and where they need to go and what needs to happen. There's a lot of, in fact, out there's a ton of jobs and there's nobody to fill them for whatever reason. A lot of people don't want to work and stuff. Well, this is the opposite of that. This is an opportunity for these traveling nurses to get their roadway or their path to what they're going to do for the medical field. So again, TJ, and it's called The Traveling Nurse is the book. I wanted to make sure I got that out there. I told Erica I'd get that book out there and actually talk about it. And, again, I haven't read the book or anything, but I'm just trying to get the information out there during this podcast. So it gives a chance, again, for TJ to get some exposure and get his book out there on this podcast and these 12 platforms all over the world. An opportunity, right? That's what I call everything I do when I talk to anybody. When I come see you, it's an opportunity. It's a chance for me and you to have a communication at the crossroads of content and communication, right? This is what we do here. This is what I do here. And again, this is your podcast and I'm simply the host, right? And we're still in the middle of the 35th episode, which is the Yellow Rose of Texas. All right. So Sam Houston today is the legend and you heard the sounder. So anyway, was a general and statesman who played an important role in the Texas Revolution. He served as the first and third presidents of the Republic of Texas. Didn't know that. Born March 2nd, 1793. Come on, Mike. Died July 26th, 1863. He went out to become a senator and the land of Texas becoming annexed by the United States. Again, so it was its own republic, became annexed by the United States to become a part of the United States. He became a governor of Texas in 1859. He's the only person to become a governor in two different states. First and only time in our history. So he was a lawyer, governor twice, signed the Texas Declaration of Independence, and even led the way for the Republic of Texas. The city, large and vast, named after the general in honor of his greatness. Again, Houston, Texas, right? Sam Houston. Of his greatness and patriotism, still remains one of the greatest leaders of all time in America. So do the research on him and his accolades and honorable endeavors. Did an amazing part, did a great part. Houston's a big, huge, massive city in Texas. If you get a chance to go check out Houston, I haven't. Named by a country song. It's a big part of the history and lore of America and also the Republic of Texas, right? Right. Oh, let's see. Basically that's it. I mean, that's really the, when it comes to all the information, all the other parts, again, Yellow Rose of Texas is this episode. We went into the comedy corner, dad jokes, of course. I even threw in a bonus one there for you. Hey, What do you think about that? Funny, right? Right. So anyway, then we went into the two groups, of course, Discount Vodka and, of course, The Dead End. And then our living legend, Remember the Legend segment about Sam Houston. So it's been great. All right. So basically, what's happening now is the fact that, again, you can go to all the social media places. I don't believe in them in social media, but someone said a couple people said, I need to put something out there on there. So again, if you go to Arena of Ideas podcast, you can go to those, Facebook, Instagram, Snapchat, and Twitter to comment. It's Michael Kingston 723 at Yahoo. You have my phone number. I'm told not to really announce that on the phone, on the radio. So I don't want it going viral or anything. So, again, if you're out there listening and this is the first time you've actually got a chance to appreciate and enjoy this experience known as the Arena of Ideas podcast, well, then I welcome you here. If you've come back or if you're like a few people that I know that, there's a few people out there that have actually listened to all the episodes. They've gone through everything, started from the beginning, listened to everything, have checked out how I've, started with first I couldn't walk. Then I got up and I could walk and I could run metaphorically. And now here I am building this to 35 episodes and so on. Guess what? I welcome you back. I welcome you here. I appreciate you being here. Thank you. If it's your first time, welcome. This is what you got. This is what's going on. It's a concern for what you have to say and what you think and everything else. And me getting it out there and conveying this message to everyone else out there. That's where this plays, and that's how important it is and what matters, right? That's really what matters most. I want to thank everybody for being here. And I did mention the streaming, and I did mention everything else. So, until next time, this has been your host, Mike Kingston of the AOI podcast, your podcast. Have the best of the rest of your day. Until next time.